Hey, what's going on, guys? Complete idiot here. And for the first time on my channel, I'm actually doing some post commentary, and I don't know if you guys can guess why, but it's because I'm a total idiot. And I was making some videos about the Razing, like I said I would, obviously. And the thing that happened was that as I was playing, actually at the end of the last thing that I was recording, I wanted to make sure that I had everything right, and so I checked my settings, and I realized that I was testing something yesterday. And while I was testing, I had to turn off my sound because I didn't want to, well, I mean, it didn't really matter, but I didn't want to hear it. So I turned off my sound, and then I realized after recording the last mission of the Razing that I did today that I never changed that setting back. So I basically recorded these two 15-minute missions, total of, let's say, 30 minutes of gameplay, around there, and with no commentary over it. I live-commed the whole thing and totally lost it. I am a goddamn idiot. Basically what I talked about in the videos were just some of the thoughts that I had on the Razing. I don't know if you guys want me to go over it. I don't know exactly what I should do, but I'm just recording this. I'm going to put this over the first video. We'll see what you guys want for the second one. If you guys want I don't know if you guys want commentary with that too. I guess we could do that here. But basically what I was doing was I was playing the Razing, and as you guys know, in the Razing, there are two characters, the two factions mainly, the Norn and the Char, and they're going against the Dredge and Flame Legion Char. And what basically happens is, the first game that I'm playing, I'm actually in the Norn part, and I'm fighting with Broham, I'll just call him Broham, because he's my bro. And so we were playing there, and what happens is that this kid goes to the Black Citadel. He's Aristigulkin's son, supposedly. But Ritlock doesn't believe him because he says Air doesn't have a son, but then when you go to the Norn area, it turns out that she says he is his son. I don't know exactly all the lore that's going on here, but we'll let it go for now. Basically what happens, he goes to the Black Citadel, asks for help from Ritlock. Ritlock doesn't believe him, and then he says no, and so obviously we're there, Supreme Pact Commander, so you're forced to help him out. Basically what you're doing here in the mission that you're seeing is that you're going through Cragstead, which is the name of the area that he's in, rescuing villagers and fighting off these different Char and Norn, not Char and Norn, Char and Dredge, as you progress through this Norn village. And in the Norn village right now, in the gameplay, I think I will be fighting them, and what you have to do is you have to find these different villagers, and I think 2 waves each of Char and Dredge come. Don't step in the fire because it burns you. I do that a couple times before I realize I have to stop. Then that bar will go down, and then once you do that, you get to go further into the mission. Then you have to do some, it's like a conquest kind of thing where you capture the points around some villagers, and then you progress up the mountain, and then you have a final boss fight, which I did enjoy, because this is a point I touched on in the actual video, was that I didn't like the boss fights. The boss fights in Guild Wars 2, basically, they hit harder and they have more health, i.e. in the form of veterans or champions. And what they kind of changed here was that, so basically, okay, so going back to that, when you fight a veteran or a champion, all you need to do is do more damage for a longer time. So it's not more difficult, it's just more tedious. And they've noticed that in the couple of interviews that I've read through that, and they said they want to improve their boss fighting, or the boss experience, if you want to call it. And so what they're doing is, with that, they're updating the bosses, and so I think they kind of implemented that in the first part of this Razing, where the boss isn't just, I mean, he is a veteran, obviously, from the damage, but he, at least this is a Char boss. And so the Char boss will teleport around, he'll shoot off different things, and if you get hit by them, you get knocked back. So obviously there's a little more dodging involved. Another thing I touched on was the difference between open world PvE and instances like this and dungeons. And so I think that the skill gap there is very big. Or, I made that same mistake in the actual video. I think not the skill gap, but the difficulty gap is a lot different. And that difficulty gap means that it's kind of harder for them to transition, for players to transition from open world PvE to that kind of dungeon instance kind of thing. But with the Razing, with these kind of missions, I think they're tailored more towards level 80s, and these level 80 missions also allow you to kind of get that dungeon feel, but you can solo it. At the same time, it's not as difficult, but I do feel that they're kind of bridging that gap a little with this. And the Living Story has been pretty disappointing so far, because all it's been is that open world kind of thing where you help out volunteers in the open world. And that is kind of disappointing because there's not really much to do in that open world. But when they put you in an instance like this, you have a story to follow and you have certain objectives to complete. And with that, those certain objectives actually help move the gameplay along, and then you're not wandering around a certain zone, like let's say DSL Plateau, looking for signposts to fix or campfires to ignite. There's none of that, which I do think is a good thing, that they changed that, because otherwise it was it's kind of annoying. So yeah, those are a couple of the points that I touched on in the commentary that I had as I was playing this. I mean, I don't think that I'm going to talk over the full 16 minutes of the first thing, because I mean, I basically went over this. Obviously I did some of the other live com things where I just, you know, reacted to all this. This one I actually did blind. This playthrough, this Cragstead, I did blind, and the Char mission I did partially blind, because I didn't record the beginnings. I didn't record the actual conversations between Broham and Ritlock in the Black Citadel, and I also didn't record Ritlock meeting with his council, I guess, to send me off with another Char to help the hatchery. But that's actually the next mission that I have recorded, so I'll probably talk about that later. So I didn't record those things, but I was going to play through the hatchery mission because, I don't know, I just thought it was more interesting than the Cragstead. And, well, looking back on it, they're both pretty good, pretty fun. And so furthermore, I think I switched from Staff to Scepter halfway through here. Scepter, another point I was going to touch on is the fact that Scepter in PvE, at least with a Guardian, and I just realized this now, is so good because a lot of the enemies don't move, especially when they're getting hit by a lot of AoE damage, so that Smite skill is really good. And I was thinking about making a build to kind of capitalize on that. Right-handed strength, obviously, going through precision. Toughness, we'll see. I mean, I don't know, just some thoughts going on in my head as I played. Can't remember exactly what I was talking about before I went off on that little tangent there. But basically, these missions were pretty fun. I kind of like the variation that they had. I hope they release more. I think this is pretty good so far. And, well, I don't really know what else to talk. Oh, here's another point I touched on. I keep saying that. I mean, God, that might be getting annoying. I don't know. Basically, some other things that I talked about were the fact that I am super stoked for Pokemon X and Y. Totally random, totally random subject. And I got on that topic because I was talking about a commentary that I made a long time ago when I was first starting the channel. I think it was my second actual thing that I was going to record, but because of my inexperience with the software, I didn't know how to record exactly, and that lack of knowing how to record, that lack of knowledge, forced me to do exactly what I did this time and not record at all. Only this time I did it because I'm a friggin' idiot, but nevertheless, I was talking about games that I really like to play. And it was like a series of my history of gaming, and it went on for a while. It was like a 20-minute span of time where I was just talking to myself. And, well, this has been going on for, I don't know, let's say around 8 minutes. And so basically I was just talking about a variety of games that I've played. And even though I am much older than the target audience I think that Pokemon is going for, I enjoy the crap out of those games, and I think they're fantastic, and I can't wait to play X and Y because they're finally doing what I've always wanted in a Pokemon game. And I know Pokemon Coliseum did this, but that's besides the point. They're going for a 3D world on a handheld, which is amazing, and they're going for 3D Pokemon sprites where they actually like react to the damage, not the damage, the moves you use. I don't know. I'm super excited about that. It's kind of nerdy and kind of stupid. I don't really care because Pokemon is amazing. And so, yeah. So, I think I'm going to cut off the commentary there, and then you guys will be able to watch the rest of this video. You guys can see the boss fight at the end, and I don't know if I'll put anything over the second half, the Char mission, but I will make a very conscious effort from now on to record every time I plan to live com. I hope I record it. So yeah, so another thing in the future, we're gonna have Steam is a wonderful thing. If you are a PC gamer and you don't have Steam, you're doing it wrong. Well, I don't want to say you're doing it wrong, but you are doing it wrong. And I highly recommend it because the sales are superb. Everything about it is great. Not to mention the fact that I've been waiting for a game to come out for a while, and it is finally on sale, and I'm going to be playing through it with a friend. and you guys will see that as it progresses. If any of you follow Steam, you might have a guess as to what it is, and if you know what games you can play with friends that are on sale right now, you'll probably guess right. So I hope you guys can look forward to that. I was tinkering around with that specific game. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but I was tinkering around with that specific game, and I was running it at, let's say, 30 FPS, and I couldn't understand why, because I know it's not a very graphically intensive game, but it is a very fun game. And after realizing I had some of my settings effed up, I went back, fixed that, and now I can play at over 100 FPS, and I'll record at about 60, which is very good. And so I'll be playing through that particular game with a friend. Hope you guys will be able to enjoy that. And I think that's where we're going to cut it off for now. So thanks for watching. As always, stick around for the Char mission, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you.
Wolf, let us not be too late. Begin the incursion! There they are! Hurry! Not like this! Time for an overcharge. Save yourselves! Hey, ugly.
You're kidding, right? Look at you. I'm surprised you can even lift that mace.
This mace will be the last thing you see.
I'm going to enjoy punishing you.
Save
young wolf. We should never have stayed behind. I'm glad to see friendly faces.
Come on. Let's get out of here.
Bram. They took Ottilia and her family.
Hey, what? Where? Why?
They're collecting prisoners. I don't know where they took them or why.
I hate this. We have to help Ottilia and her family. But first, I have to make sure these Steaders are okay. I've got this under control.
I achieve things. I'm an achiever.